really tell coming off the screen that like you just have that, right, Dad? Can you tell that?
He does. He's very intuitive,
He's
very sweet.
intuitive
I
and
always
nice. Do you know how rare it is to be nice?
that that's
It's hard.
you have no idea how much that means coming from you, seriously. But I
Yeah, I'm
always
glad it means a lot.
I always like had this connection to you and your lyrics and just like the feeling of being such a like I just have so much empathy, and the way that that can either really just make my life so good or it can break me down, like the way that like getting out of a relationship would break me down for months or even a year.
Oh, it's horrific.
It's
And I think it's so
like you
unfair
just
that
don't see a future.
people don't. Here's the thing though. Let me say this, like the second epidemic to come out of the pandemic was like domestic disputes. It rose by
I know,
300% in this country. And it
I
just
know.
goes to show like you have no idea what goes on beyond people's closed walls. So like if you went to some of the meetings that I went to, you would be shocked. Like all of the feelings that I thought were so unique to me about just wanting to just not want to do this anymore. Like people who are like old and young and smart and stupid, they're all saying the same thing. Like they just don't like they felt like the end of the relationship. They knew it didn't make sense, but they just felt like the end of the relationship was like it was it wasn't going to like it was going to break them.
Mm.
I used to like just have this thing where it's like I couldn't be by myself, and I think that that's what I really
Hey,
learned in the last couple of years, just to like just be
you
comfortable
know,
in myself and my
can I
the
tell you
weirdness.
something? That takes
Mm.
let that takes as long as it takes. What did I just say to you this morning, Dad?
Yeah. Zach, we may have to get you out here. Somehow you're
Please.
sympathetic.
I remember
I
when Sean and I broke up, and I just thought it
Mm.
was the end of the world. And,
Mhm.
because, especially because he was perceived as like everything that I wasn't, like, sunshiny and like on the right side of the law. And it just broke my heart, like the whole idea of like just everything disintegrating. And it's like
Mm.
the lesson was I got to get in touch with that panicked side that was very old because they say hysteria is historical. So, I mean, it's a reason to dig into your history, but you don't want to do it alone. like,
No,
like I'm so,
absolutely not.
and even still, like everything hurts. Like when I see things, like it hurt. But you would be shocked. Like relationships completely break people. Like they really do.
Yeah. No, I
Even if you go on to the next one, like it's not like it gets better.
and it
It's just
yeah, and it's just like you can't help but like every new relationship that you get into, you just think as even if you've taken like a year or two to yourself, you just think
yeah,
about the last person.
exactly.
How would that person act in this situation? How is this person going to hurt me? Is it going to be different than the last person? Are they not going to hurt me at all? Like I remember when me and my ex-girlfriend broke up, we used to listen to your music together all the time, and after we
Yeah,
broke up, I couldn't be by myself and listen to your music because it just
yeah. Trigger
reminded me of her.
warning.
Yeah,
Trigger warning.
and
Yeah.
finally, like I think right around the time that you released the three singles back over the summer, that
Hmm.
was when I could finally start like getting into it again. So it's like listening to
That's so.
Blue Banisters really was like a like especially because I feel like a lot of the songs are so sweet and melodic and like lullaby-ish. Like it was so
Yeah.
comforting and like okay, like I'm here
You know
now.
what else comforted me is like my
Mm.
surrogate mom, Candy, says, is that chemistry never dies. Even if the other person dies, chemistry never dies.
Hmm.
It, it and it's like we have soulmates, but we don't have to marry them. And I think,
Yeah.
we can. I had that old trailer for Lust for Life, and I talked about holding in my poetry. I hold many worlds in the palms of my hands.
That
And
trailer was so cool, by the way. That was
that
awesome.
trailer was everything.
Oh, I
Well,
love
I
that.
tried
That
to
was
do it
like the
again.
best.
I think Rich is gonna help me. He's gonna help me do a trailer like that, and also have it like float into all the videos I have from the last 2 years. But that's triggering too. Like I actually stopped making the um what did she say? Congrats on your surrogate pregnancy. Ugh, go
People are
away.
so
People
weird.
are
And
so
someone said
it's
I'm
so
a
they're
Sagittarius.
literally
I'm not a
so
Sagittarius.
annoying.
Well,
You're
I
a
am a
Sagittarius.
Gemini.
What are
No. I'm a Gemini. Someone said I'm a Sagittarius.
oh, Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
Ayo.
Yeah, I know.
I
Like,
mean, I'm half Gemini. I
I
gotta give
know,
myself.
I know. You're
I
like
know I was
right
born
on
at
the border.
but whatever.
I know.
But I mean, yeah, chemistry never dies. You know what the good thing is though is like I think just knowing that the like time, the only thing that's gonna make it get better is so much time. When you're if you're that sensitive, and then I think also, do you ever listen to Jerry and Esther Hicks?
No, I don't.
So they have like saved my life many times. Like I think Jerry's passed now, but there's a book called Ask and It Is Given. And I listen to Esther all the time. And she talks a lot about how important it is to have non-thought. Like just like not having positive thoughts about the future or sad thoughts about the past, but almost like having a singular point of focus in a meditation or while you're sleeping, while
Mhm.
your thoughts just stop, where the train stops gaining momentum. And it's not like it ceases to be there, but then you have an opportunity to like have other thoughts creep in there. And that's why I meditate so much. I do so many guided meditations because I am so ADD, and like I remember everything. And like the people I'm thinking about, they don't remember
Oh, that's
those.
me too.
I mean, actually, Candy always says they're probably thinking about you too, but who knows? I mean, they're probably not. But
I know. Whoever
yeah,
knows.
I think about everything. And so for that reason, I have to take so much time to like slow down my breathing, slow down my thinking. Anyway, whatever.
Oh my
But
God.
I do think the good thing to know is like I've been in like certain rooms where like I'm shocked to hear people say that like they want to jump out a window because their relationship ended. I'm like, really? That's crazy. You look like you have it together. So I don't know. I personally think it's like a lot of
That's
people.
that's how it is with you. You always just you look so well put together and just so
What?
strong. I mean, like
Dude,
the real fans, we know, like you were so
in-
strong. No, no, no,
everybody
no.
knows. Look at what
No,
they
no, no.
write.
Lana. No, only the real fans really know. Like everyone else
That's,
just thinks
that's
you're
true.
like a bad bitch. And I know you are a bad bitch,
I
but
don't think
like
they think
you've
I'm a
been
bad
through
bitch.
so
I just
you've
think they
just been
think
through so much.
yeah, I just think they think I'm bad. But actually it's like the height, you know what it is? It's like a heightened hyper opposite. And I think it's just so hard to see if frankly if you're like a bad person. I
Hmm.
think you just are like
So
I think
sometimes
you're
you
just
really
like
you
fuck
just
that girl. Like fuck that
especially
girl.
especially like being a sensitive person, like you beat yourself up for like, did I say that wrong? How like should I have like handled this differently? How did I affect someone? Like you really just sometimes you really just have to sit with yourself and just remind yourself of your intentions. And I feel like what you were saying before, like with spirituality and just making a good impact, even though like some of your albums come from, I mean, like hard places,
Yeah.
the the effect that they like release into the universe and just what they bring other people, I feel like that kind of just negates like that,
It
like
all comes out in the
it
wash.
all comes like in
It
like a
all
full
comes out
circle, and it like
in
things
the
balance.
end, even if everyone hates it, it all comes out in the wash. Like
Yep.
it doesn't like none of it matters. Like
Not at all.
no, I mean I think also I heard someone say once like sometimes in relationships it's not the messenger, it's the message. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you have to pay attention to like what was it in that partner that they had that you wanted, and what did you have that they wanted? I mean, I personally know the answers to those two questions in all my relationships. You know, is it stability? Is it like the ability to hold it together no matter what?
Right.
That's probably my pattern. Although actually they ended up losing it. So like even though it's all so messed up. But anyway, but you're awesome, Zach, and we will at some point. I mean, we're from up there, so either we'll go up there or we'll get you. And you're awesome. Let me see
You're
Matt.
amazing. Oh yeah, Matt.
Oh, bye, Lana. Nice to meet you.
Oh, Matt, how's Matt doing?
How are you
Good.
doing, Matt?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I showed him your music so long ago.
Sorry, I don't know as much.
He
as
doesn't,
you guys,
he
but-
doesn't know like I
No,
do.
you don't have to know one thing about me. I'm just checking in with you. How's Cornell?
Oh, good. I'm glad that you made Zach so happy. Thank you.
We were
Thank you.
we were at dinner like when you first went live like an hour and a half ago, and I was like I had like a couple of glasses of wine and you went live. I was like, oh my god, Matt, if she like adds me to the live right now, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I literally like
know.
manifested this. It's crazy.
I know. It's like you never know what to do when you like get what you want. But you know what? I think really in this exchange, you're like the blessing to us. Don't you feel, Dad?
Yeah, Matt, you're a very,
Not Matt.
very sweet guy.
Matt is,
Oh,
but Zach.
Matt, you are too. Both of you are.
Do you know
Thank
that
you.
my dad called all of my friends in high school Jennifer, and I never even knew a Jennifer?
Really?
And both me and my dad forget how old we are. I haven't known how, I've gotten my age wrong since I was 24.
Yeah, I know.
You don't look a day over 24, Lana, so don't worry about that.
Don't,
And you know it's true. And Rob,
you're
you
not
don't
getting
look a day over 40,
Saying-
over 38.
you're saying all the right things.
Yeah, you saying all the right things.
You're saying all
No,
the right
really,
things.
like, you're like immortal, Lana. It's crazy.
The funny thing is, now I have my best friend Jen, and he calls her Jan. It's like crazy.
Jan?
Like, if you meet me, I just smile. How are you? Good to see you.
He's always been that way, even with like my friends in high school that like I knew forever. But anyways, whatever, it is what it is. But you are such a gift. You're everybody has a presence when their energy comes off the screen, and like you're just such a nice guy, and everything's gonna be just fine. But I would recommend, coming from someone who's older than you, if you ever get into a relationship and you even see any sign of a red flag, literally leave. God, just leave. Because like otherwise it'll be like 2 weeks later and you got keys to somebody's apartment and like you're in love,
I know.
It's like they say when you're really close to someone, you kiss them, it's like in your mind you're married to them. Well, I mean that sounds crazy, but there's limerence, right? Limerick chemistry.
Yeah.
But I mean, God, if I could give you any fucking wisdom, it would be just like be so careful. And that's what's hard about not wanting to be alone, because it doesn't matter how much yoga you do, how much miles you run in Long Beach, or how many records you put out. It's like wherever you go, there you are. However, I will say pulling geographics is sometimes helpful for me. Like I have driven across the country so many times, stopped in New Mexico, and I do feel different. I feel different in the middle of the country. And like I do feel like landscape changes things, but
Yeah, I'm the same way.
also like I've had some fucking really weird things happen when when I've written things down, like I will never speak to this person again. And there's this book, I won't mention what it is, but they say once you are at your most vulnerable, or you have made your most solid declarations, you will have a series of almost psychic events that occur that seem
Mhm.
to bring that person into your life, i.e., you run into mutual friends, you run into someone at the grocery store. And that's always, to me now, it's always a sign that I did something right. Anytime life challenges me, like they throw, like even the paparazzi, right? It was so awful this morning. Like he scared me to death. And then once I calmed down, I realized like, and I couldn't get my chickens back in the coop, right? Like I have chickens, they were crying all night long. And like, and then my dad ripped his pants trying to catch these chickens, which sounds funny, but honestly, like I'm so sensitive that if they cry at night, like I feel so bad for them, so I'm up all night like cuddling them. And like they're just chicken, like they're just chickens. But the thing is like I already had a bad morning because I was up all morning with them trying to catch them. Dad finally caught them, and then they leave, and then I go, and this paparazzi in this blacked out car follows me. And all of a sudden it's like the last 2 years that were so normal, like they disappear, and it's like I'm not normal anymore. It's like I'm this person who's different from everybody, and it like scares me. What is the point? What was the point of me saying all this? What was Zach? I was saying something.
Yeah, I
It
was
was
trying to. I was.
it,
I like. I.
it here's what it was. All of this could make you want to call somebody that you shouldn't. Like, because it's so hard to be alone.
Yep.
Even if you're with dad. Like,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
I remember. I remember what I was gonna.
but like that, but that's a personality type. That it's not everybody. It's like it's very coda, very codependent. I'm a sensitive,
I
alcoholic,
completely.
codependent,
I
myriad.
completely. I completely relate to you and just look up to you that way. Just having like that comfort in someone who. I mean, even though we've never like really talked before now, I've always felt like somehow like you always understood me, and I just want to thank you just for. I mean, you say I'm like such a nice person and everything, but really I have to give you some credit for it because you've really played a huge part of my life. Seriously.
Well, then I'm gonna give you some credit for it.
And Rob too, of course.
My dad's been so nice. My dad's been so nice to me. He's like, he's
I
why, he's why I'm nice, and I genuinely am nice, and so are you.
you are such a nice person, and
And you
I
know what?
watch you.
There's a lot of mean people out there. And you know what? It's like you don't have to be nice. Like some people don't even consider that a virtue. You know, I mean, some people just like go, 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 and you know, they like. I always think it's funny when I read like guys' profiles. I won't say anything more than that, and they're like, you can find me in the gym, like goal oriented. I'm like, no, that's disgust. Like don't pick someone who's goal oriented on what? Like
The gym.
finances?